Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I am Tommy.
And Tommy, please don't yell today.
Am I yelling?
You talking a little bit louder. What did I say? Welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. Today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 12. The episode is titled Getting to the Crust. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you know when our videos are up and out. And share this video with a friend.
I was say you zoned out, didn't you?
No.
Oh, okay. Who's first?
Let's do Clint and Gina.
Clint and Gina.
So Clint talks to his friend David on FaceTime. Tommy and I both thought that David was his dad at first glance. I was like, I shouldn't think that about a friend.
But we gotta realize too, Clint is 40 and his friends look 40.
As you like to say, we would have been in school together.
Yeah. Clint friends look older because they are older. You know, so.
Clint has to have more established friends because he has a very expensive hobby.
Yeah.
So.
And they all know about it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that hobby, he tells his friend David about taking Gina sailing, make a few jokes about it, her becoming a pirate and getting her a patch. And then they talk through the fact that he's trying to get to know Gina better and he's trying to get through the layers of Gina. Mm-hmm. They meet with Dr. Pepper, who this is the We Meet with Dr. Pepper episode.
Yeah.
Gina says that because she had a single mother, she has issues with vulnerability with men. I thought that was rather interesting. I don't know that I have that issue.
Yeah.
My mom wasn't single my entire life, but the formative years.
Well, it's interesting that she says that because we all grab onto something from our childhood, be it good, bad, or indifferent, you know, and that's that thing that she, you know, that caused her to like be invulnerable, you know. This episode, when like everybody talked about being more vulnerable, but one thing that stood out to me when they were talking to Dr. Pepper was she was saying that he was really trying to just be her friend. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, of course. He was just trying to be her friend and not really dive deep by asking those questions. And I'm like, well, is the door open for him to ask those questions? You know, because it's one thing, he's still standing on the strength of I messed up at the honeymoon and I'm trying to get past that.
We're only 2 weeks, 3 weeks past mess up.
Right. So is the door open for me now? And if it is, how do you express that? Like throughout the conversations and the friendship that you guys have built, she hasn't expressed anything for him to dig deeper in because he wants to, you know, he wants to get to know her better, but she's kept it surface level, very surface level with him. And it's like, how?
The fact that she goes and hangs out in his room while Hank is in his room feels friendship vibes because one of the easiest things to do would be move into a room together.
Yeah, I definitely said they were roommates.
Now they're going to be ex-husband and wife who live in the same apartment building.
That hang out with each other.
From time to time.
Yeah. But I think they still have an opportunity to really, like, lack of better words, fall in love with each other. Because a lot of great relationships start from friendships. And so it's good that they're building a friendship, but it's more so they talked about the vulnerability of things and her being very vulnerable, but that door has to be open, you know, and she has to open it. He can't just be like, so tell me, you know, let's go deep and do this and do that. So,
which, skipping ahead, he did try during the activity.
I'm not gonna lie, like it was like, for some reason, things in this episode for me were dragged along. I was like, man.
They talked about Gina and his, for that matter, issues with asking for help. And she was saying, again, she went back to the single mom reference of saying that she didn't want to feel like a burden to her mom because her mom had so many other things going on that she would she became independent to a fault. Like she didn't want to ask people for help. And Clint, I was about to call him Hank. I know why I was about to call him Hank, but Clint, because Hank live in the house. But Clint said that, you know, he doesn't like to ask for help to a fault. Like, he's not a
it just hit you, didn't it?
It did just hit me. He's not I'm gonna ask you from the very beginning. I'm gonna get so far deep into this that you gotta pull me out.
Yeah.
Like, that's when he asks for help. So but when he asked that question and she started explaining, he asked follow-up questions on that as well as the other question that he asked. That's why I say he's at least trying, because during that interaction with Dr. Pepper, she told Dr. Pepper, you know, he says he wants to get to the crust, but then he doesn't offer any follow-up questions for anything to try to dive deeper. And she was like, I'm just not going to just give it willingly.
And see, that's the thing that I don't get. When it's a relationship, usually it's two people.
It kind of has to be at least.
Yeah, at least it's two people, right? Let's even break it down a little bit further. In conversation, there are at least, at minimum, two people talking to each other. Both those people have to be involved in that conversation, right? For it to be a good conversation, there has to be a rebuttal, or you have to say something back. You have to be interested in the topic enough to ask a question. Otherwise, I'm just interviewing you, you know, and you have to listen and you have to give, you know, so it works both ways. It's a two-way street. So I don't understand why, like, he wants to get deeper, but she doesn't. That was my whole issue that was my whole issue with them, is that it's on him to make things happen. If he doesn't do it, it's not going to get done. And a lot of times that's what happens in some relationships. And especially on here, the expectation is the man is supposed to do X, Y, and Z while the woman just receives. And good relationships can't work that way.
Yeah.
So it was just like their interaction with Dr. Pepper was like, you know.
Yeah. You got anything else for them?
Nope.
You want to go Nicole and Chris or Jasmine and Airris?
That's cool.
Okay. I gave an or, but all right. Nicole and Chris. Mark is still in town, which is Nicole's dad. Nicole, Mark, and Chris go and do goat yoga together. Apparently Nicole encouraged her dad to start doing yoga. He had to one-up her and become a yoga.
You want some yogurt, don't you?
I don't. A yoga instructor at her college. So, they feel like they were able to bond. Chris asked Mark some questions about Nicole being younger, and he talked about Nicole's rebellious stage with him after he and her mother divorced. He was like, Nicole didn't want to come to my house. He was like, I get it. She had a room at her mom's house. At my house, she was sleeping on the couch. I can't remember what else he said. I don't remember if I even took a note on that part.
Yeah, he said she would ditch him when she got older. Mm-hmm. Instead of coming over his house, she'd just, go do something else. And their relationship was just truly rocky for her growing up. But now they have a really, really good relationship. And it has gotten better because of I think they were doing yoga and just spending more time with each other on that front. I do appreciate Mark. I mean, is his name Mark? Mm-hmm. I appreciate Mark, Nicole's dad, telling Chris, hey, you can call me dad. Even though he's very skeptical of the whole process and of the experiment, he's like, hey, I like you, man. You're making my daughter, you're genuine with my daughter. Mm-hmm. And she genuinely likes you. It's been however long it's been, and she likes you and you like her. I'm cool with you, for now. So
she asked her dad, is this the happiest that he's seen her? And he says, no, it's not that you're happy, it's that you're content. Yeah. And your contentment is making you happy. And I was like, most people look at being content as a negative thing.
But it's not. It's truly not a negative thing.
No. If that was the question.
Though. Yeah.
If I asked you, am I happy? Like, do I seem happy? And you said content, I would be like, so I'm not happy?
He said the contentment makes her happy.
I don't know. It just felt weird.
Like, it's I never would have used the word content. I would have said, yeah, you seem happy.
Yeah.
Because content got him to happy. But I don't think he meant anything negative by content, just because contentment means you're satisfied. Mm-hmm. I am satisfied with this situation.
That word feels better.
Satisfaction?
Yeah.
It does.
If he would have been like, it seems like you're satisfied with where you are in life.
Yeah.
I would have felt a little bit better than content. But I don't know why.
But or the way I look at it, when we went to church one time, they was talking about you have to be content to grow. Mm-hmm. You have to be happy with what you got to grow more. And I always took that to heart when I heard it, because I was like, that's true. You have to be happy with the land that you have in order to grow. Because if you're not taking care of this land, you grow, or you're blessed with more, you're not going to take care of that.
Right.
So I got it when he was like, content is probably not the best choice of words, but I got it when he was saying that. Mm-hmm. Your contentment is making you happy, and they can grow from there. But,
they go meet with Dr. Pepper. They talked about building trust and vulnerability. Oh my gosh. Nicole realizes during the conversation with Dr. Pepper that she has been in some really terrible relationships. And I was like, the cigarette should have been a clue.
Yeah, the cigarette should have been like, well, need to change my life and lifestyle.
Like, just who I'm going after, or who I'm allowing myself to surround myself with.
Yeah. What type of person thinks that if you love me, you'll let me burn you with a cigarette?
I've seen so much manipulation in my day. Not towards me necessarily,
but towards somebody else.
I've seen a lot of manipulators.
I don't know the thought process in that. Like, why I want to burn? That's one thing about me. I never want to cause harm to anybody, and I never want anybody to cause harm to me in the sake of love.
So you look at it like a controlling piece, not you, but the person. Because if you will let me burn you with a cigarette, I can do anything.
Yeah. But
it's testing the limits.
But I don't want to be in a relationship that I have control over you. Like, I want to and this is something that I work on every day, and we're like actually trying to get better and better at it, is we're captains.
Mm-hmm.
We're co-captains of this thing called family or relationship. And how do we lead this relationship together?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a I'm over you or you're over me. It's we're a team. And in order for us to win, we have to work together. How do we work together in a manner that gets us where we're wanting to go?
I get it.
Like that just didn't make sense to me, man. But anyway, it's not what we're talking about.
So after their meeting with Dr. Pepper, they go to the gym with their questions and they're gonna go through them during their workout. One of the questions was about feeling shame, and she says that she felt shame when she was lying to her mother about the cigarette burn because her mom saw it, asked her what it was. I think she told her it was a flat iron.
Yeah.
And she couldn't explain why the flat iron burned her circular. I was like, because, yeah.
She said she kept picking with it.
Yeah.
And it
turned into a circle.
Yeah.
I was like, I've been burnt by a flat iron before, and it's just like a line.
It was a horrible lie.
Yeah. And it's kind of like how, I don't even say kind of because it's the exact same thing. You watch your children tell a lie and you're easy, not even just your kids. I remember we were at your grandparents' house and your little cousin Aubrey was there and they had been jumping in the bed. And you just asked them 3 questions and then circle back to the first question they told on each other.
Yeah. And I was like, dang, y'all are terrible. Like, that's me though.
But they were also like, what, 4, 5, something like that?
I can't get tricked like that, but I forget my story. And the last time, like, I lied to get out of trouble was because I got caught because I forgot the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't forgot to lie now, but I was like, I realized I'm a terrible liar, so it's better to just tell the truth.
Right. Chris's story was about him having a new apartment and there being a lot of underage drinking in this apartment, but his mom was innocently there baking or something. I think that's what he said she was doing. The police came and he's like, he had to lie to his mom about, I'm guessing it's not about the fact that everyone was drinking, but about the fact that some of them were underage and drinking.
Yeah.
And the police just kind of made them disperse. He was like, and when you look back at it, that was stupid because it was drunk kids. You just told them to get in their cars and leave.
Yeah.
I was like, that is true.
Yeah.
And then he talked about his biggest insecurity has been that he doesn't feel like he's worthy of love in his previous relationships. And she worries that she isn't deserving of happiness. So let's hope they don't mess this up with their undeserving mentality.
And that's another thing too. It's like everybody's meant to be like, life is so hard that when you find the happiness, you just got to hold on to it. And for a person to come into, like, they're perfect for this experiment, I personally think, right? Just because they don't believe that they're deserving of it. Mm-hmm. So when they get it, they're going to cherish it because I'm not supposed to have this. And so they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that we're doing this right. Like the things that the experts give them, they're going to do that. They're going to take the extra effort and try to really get to know each other and guide towards each other. I think they match them. Bless you. I think they match them really well. And these are the things that you like to see.
Mm-hmm. That's all I have for them.
Yeah, me too.
Jasmine and Airris. So they go meet with Dr. Pepper and she tells them that she gets the feeling that they aren't progressing in a way that the experts would want them to. That's what Dr. Pepper says to the couple. Jasmine says she wants to have deeper conversations. I feel like this is a reoccurring theme every single season. Everybody wants deeper conversations, but they're not really doing anything to have deeper conversations.
Yeah. I think when they were talking to Dr. Pepper, we got some answers to a few questions about Jasmine that like were key parts.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine growing up had low self-esteem. Aha.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this relationship can't get anywhere, because she's holding on to one thing
that he doesn't want her.
That he doesn't want her.
Or desire her. Yeah, that's her words.
Because you can't grow if that's what you're holding on to, because it's like, well, that's the whole basis of things. And that's, you remember last week, and they was like, well, we're going to talk about growing in more intimacy. And I was like, but what's the plan to do that? Now it's okay. It makes sense. Your movement, or Jasmine's movement, I want to please him. I want to make sure that this, I want to make sure there's that. And she's not speaking up for herself in things that she needs and wants and stuff like that. And his description of it, she thinks I'm a 12 and I think she's a 4 type of deal.
Your coffee smells really good.
Man, I need to
I'm
do
over
something.
here mesmerized by the smell.
I need to do something for this headache, man. But so she for me, it was like, okay, all of this makes sense now. Now, how do you move forward in building this? Or is this something that you even try to build? Seeing that it's less than 4 weeks now, and you got to make a decision essentially in 4 weeks.
So Jasmine says that him not being attracted to her hurt her feelings, and Dr. Pepper asked him to share something that would bring them together. She mentions about mentoring girls and teaching them about, I don't want to say self-esteem, but
being esteem, having better esteem for self.
Speaking up for yourself. Yeah. That's a good one. And she's not doing that in her own relationship. She says she feels like she's in his marriage alone, and she thinks that he doesn't even care. And Dr. Pepper asked her, did you ever think that it's not about you and it's about him? And she was basically like, this man is 40 and he been running from relationships for 40 years. Yeah. Have you ever thought that maybe it's him? And I'm like, why did y'all pick him if you know that he 40 and he been running from relationships his entire adult life?
Because now he's ready to stop running.
Allegedly.
But he's running from this one.
Exactly. So he basically says that he's not letting people get close to him, because when people get close to him, they leave. And not like in the they leave and they don't want to talk to me anymore, but like they die. Like one of his closest friends, what's the word you're supposed to use on YouTube? Unalived himself.
Oh yeah.
His dad died. His uncle died. He's just experienced a lot of loss, and that has made him kind of pull in and not want to.
I wonder, has he went through therapy?
I don't think
for
so.
that.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't remember him ever talking about going to therapy to talk through that issue. Because this is the first time. This isn't the first time that he's mentioned loss. Yeah. But for lack of better words, stacking the losses in a sentence.
Yeah.
Shows it as a better picture. And Jasmine was like, I knew about all these people passing away. However, he never explained it in this way.
And when I totally got when he was like, he was mad at his friend. Because I get that. Like it's his best friend. Have this relationship and you take it. He was like, it was a selfish move. And those are things that you have to be comfortable with the person that you're talking to, because what you're saying to a stranger is going to be mean and inconsiderate and all of these things. But if you're looking at it from your standpoint, because I had a conversation about my dad with you about, how I felt. And the fact that he didn't tell her that says that he wasn't comfortable with her, because it's not about how you look. We're talking about something.
Yeah, because that didn't even seem like that was a new revelation for him.
Yeah, because he's gotten past it.
Well, he obviously hasn't gotten past it.
Well, I mean, like he's gotten to the point where he's
accepted it.
You know, and the fact that he's not talking, like they've talked about those situations, but she didn't know how he felt. Like that's, come on, man, you guys need to do better. Type of deal. So,
so Jasmine also mentions that her parents never argued around her, and she felt like she lived a very sheltered life, and it's made her a very non-confrontational person. So even though she feels a way about their relationship, she's having issues with being confrontational with him about it. And I think that people look at confrontation as aggressive. And sometimes it's just a simple, I don't like it when you do this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not just talking about other people. Like, it's me too. I will let stuff like build up and then I'm a volcano.
Yeah.
And it could have.
You sure will.
It could have stopped. Perhaps. And I can't say, because you have to also let human nature in this too. But it could have stopped if you had just said, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Can you not?
Yeah.
I don't know what her I don't like this, can you not is, because the reoccurring theme of issue in their relationship is that they're not having sex, right? But that's not really the issue.
Yeah.
Because if he was some dude that she met on the street, she wouldn't be like 4 weeks in, why we not doing it?
Right.
So that's not it. But she has to figure out what it is. It could be the talking about sex at every pass, because remember when they, on last episode, I think it was last episode, when they had dinner and he asked Nicole and Chris about married sex, she rolled her eyes at that too. Like, why is that all you're thinking about?
Yeah.
Like, we're here to literally lean on each other, and this is what you come up with?
I was like, what's the purpose of that question myself? Because y'all not having it.
Right. And at this point, don't seem like you're going to get there. They get questions from Dr. Pepper about what will make you feel safe and secure, something about your childhood. Jasmine is just like, I don't want to talk about this no more. Like, that's
what I got
her entire demeanor was. I don't want to do this. I don't even know if I want to do this with you. So let's not.
Yeah, that's what I got too. But I was like, she has to come up with something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that's a question of, you guys are trying to dig deep and get into it and stuff. But if you're trying to do anything with this marriage, you have to open up. You have to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Your answer can't be you go.
Yeah.
And
like, Lily, you move, baby.
Right. Dad, move, baby.
Baby, you move.
But that's the thing. That's the hey, you have to participate. If he's participating, you have to participate.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you feel a certain type of way. Say that.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to give it somewhere to go. You have to give this relationship somewhere to go. in order for it to grow.
Right.
So.
Jasmine's mom comes by to talk to Airris at the end of the episode. They talk about him getting used to Duchess and Duchess chewing up his shoes. I was like, Duchess will have to go. If I'm already not... Artieka, the person who likes dogs, wouldn't be like, Duchess gotta go. But if I don't like dogs and your dog chewed up my shoe, Duchess gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta figure something out.
I don't know how you resolve that.
I don't know. We gotta figure that out. Because Airris also seems like the person that buys like
he's a sneakerhead.
Hard to come by shoes. So it's not like we can just go back to the mall and get another pair. So he talks about the conversation that they had with Dr. Pepper, and her mom is like, you just gotta start trying to pull stuff out of her. And then her mom brings up the fact that they're not having sex until decision day. And I was like, that's if y'all even think y'all gonna be together at decision day. Like, we've missed that. That's the in parentheses.
Nobody has mentioned that part.
That's the in parentheses of this sentence. And basically, to use Tommy's favorite words, they're tabling sex.
Yeah. Yeah. But
she was like, are you gonna deny yourself the opportunity to have sex if it comes by?
Right. Wasn't that awkward?
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, are you telling him?
She was like, I ain't telling y'all to have sex or nothing.
Well, I'm telling y'all to have sex.
Right. She went real church lady in your business.
Right, right.
But that's all I had for them. Did you have anything you wanted to mention?
I can appreciate the conversation from her mom to him. Mm-hmm. Because that relationship for me is one of the most important relationships I have, because it helps me understand you a whole lot better. It's a lot of laughs in there because I'm silly. But
my mama would be ridiculous.
She would. She has been. But I'd like that relationship along with my mom's relationship, and I can appreciate it. You know, when they be like, hey, she's a great woman, I'd be like, man, I have one of the best mom-in-laws. I would put her up against like number one. You know, but that relationship.
It's always funny when y'all get drink, be like, that's a good woman.
That's a good woman there. But you know, I definitely saw that, you know, that moment right there. I was like, that's good. You know, they have a relationship where it's open and they can actually talk to each other and it's not weird. Mm-hmm. You know, so I appreciated that moment.
So, Kirsten and Shaquille, go ahead and say your favorite line.
What was it? I was thinking too short. What's my favorite? What's my favorite line?
They consummated the marriage because you like to announce that.
Oh, yeah. But they haven't yet. Next episode, they have.
Okay.
Well, they kissed, though.
They did at the end of this episode.
They kissed, though. She was ready for it.
Obviously.
She was like, it's go time.
So they...
He GTD'd.
They go meet with Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper gave them 2 rules. One is make no assumptions. Your assumptions are usually wrong. And 2, do unto others as they would have done unto themselves, not as they would have done unto you.
I don't understand that.
Do for me what I would do for me instead of what you would do for yourself.
What if your person smokes cigarettes but you don't?
Okay, so you're making this way different. So essentially, it's kind of like the love languages, right? If a person's love language is words of affirmation and yours is gift giving, don't just keep buying them gifts. That's
they don't
not
do anything for them.
Yeah.
But tell them they're beautiful.
Right.
I got you.
So, or not even beautiful, because I don't even think that that's an affirmation. beauty is something that you just don't change. Like that's just how you look. But to use the movie for reference, you is smart, you is kind, you is important. Those types of things.
Gotcha.
Which when I thought about it in that way, I was like,
you know my affirmation. And I just thought about this. This is random as I don't know what. So fresh, so clean. When I was in high school from 9th to 12th grade, I listened to that song every morning.
Because ain't nobody dope as you.
Yep. And I mean, like I didn't have like my clothes were hand-me-downs until Steve graduated. And then I got all his uniform clothes.
Did y'all wear uniforms all 4 years?
Yeah. And then I think my sophomore or junior year, they changed it to where I only could wear blue. And so I had got a job, you know, and I wasn't the flyest one, you know, with the clothes, but hey, man, I did my thing.
Yeah.
Had the waves for the babes, curls for the girls.
All right. So during the conversation with Dr. Pepper, they talked about shameful moments in their lives. Kirsten said that her parents' separation was there for her. Her life changed a lot because she was now living in 2 different households. I always wonder when people say that they live in 2 households because their parents separated, do they view one home as more home than the other?
Of course.
And why?
Because it just is.
Because like my parents were never married, right? But I also never went to my dad's house. And with the exception of when my mom went to Hawaii, I never went to my dad's house and stayed for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
It was very much so we in and out.
Yeah.
Like I would go for the day, go back home, go spend the night, come back home. So I never viewed it as, I don't even call that my dad's house. I call it my grandmother's house because my dad lived in my grandmother's house. Yeah. Even when he bought a house next door. Yeah. And I still went to my grandmother's house because my dad did not have food.
Yeah. That's such a man thing.
Yeah. He would be like, you want some Chinese food? And my dad is on like weird health food kicks.
Yeah.
His current one is he eats a bowl of oatmeal every morning, like nothing else. Yeah. But like growing up, he had like a food dehydrator and all that stuff. And he'd be like, you want a dehydrated cucumber? No.
Absolutely not, sir.
Like, let's go to the corner store. Shaquille talks about the weight and issues he had when he met his biological father at 17 years old and how he held a grudge against him for years for not being there. As far as chemistry and intimacy, Shaquille says they're doing better. And Kirsten is like asking where's her forehead kiss in the morning. And Dr. Pepper is like, I mean, forehead kisses are cute.
Like, that's cute and all, but y'all ain't 12.
You need to give a marital kisses. I was like, it's not really a lot of like, I get the forehead kiss in the morning, but beyond morning, I'm kind of like, why?
Yeah. And the issue with that statement is they're not doing any other kissing, you know, or touching or anything like now they are. But because that kiss that he gave her, that was a nasty, that was a, yeah, we doing something tonight. Tonight.
We getting like that tonight.
Yeah, so
I gotta listen to the album before this concert. I gotta also pay them back my concert ticket.
When is it?
August.
Anyway.
I was like, what are you doing?
I wasn't invited.
I wasn't either. I was told I bought you a ticket.
All right. What was I saying?
The kiss.
Oh, yeah.
They need to give marital kisses. That's where we were. after they have this meeting with Dr. Pepper, she asked him to they sat down to have dinner, and Kirsten, whatever her name is, asked Shaquille to help her with the logo.
I thought that was dope.
Yeah, he took what she had, sketched it out, made something different out of it. And then she asked him about building her a website. And then she was like, "You're going to need to invoice me." And he was like, "You think I'm going to charge you?" She was like, "I mean, you're going to get your money in other ways." No, payment.
You're going to get payment in other ways. I was like, I know what that means. She likes him, man.
Obviously now, like, it took us 12 episodes to realize. Well, I think I may have felt like she liked him starting at episode 10. Everything before that was kind of like, girl, stop.
I wasn't sure on the honeymoon, but when they got back, I noticed how she cared. Like the things that she was saying and stuff like that.
She was upset when he would like be gone for a long time or leave and not say bye or
like things like that. I was like, oh, she really likes him. But the thing about it is she's like that that girl that can't tell people that she likes people because she got to uphold something or she got to keep something close. And that was one of those things. And now that she feels, okay, you know, I can let him know that I like him. He got me, you know, type of deal. So,
she says it's a handsome, sexy man handling his business turns her on. I was like, well, he actually is handling your business because you asked for a logo and a website.
Yeah.
That ain't his job description. So after the meeting with Dr. Pepper, or during the meeting with Dr. Pepper, she did mention that she wanted him to take the lead on things in their relationship as far as intimacy was concerned. So he said, all right, done. Set up a date night of her getting body painted.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to word that sentence.
I got you.
They were going to body paint. So she was the canvas, he was the artist, and at the ending of it, they had a very sexual kiss. Very
sexual with whipped cream and strawberries. I remember that one time we had whipped cream and it just stayed in the fridge.
I'm up here looking like, what whipped cream do we have? Where did you even buy whipped cream?
It was like we was making something. And I was like, look, we got the little spray whipped cream. You was like, put that down.
I probably did not say it like that, but okay.
Yeah, you didn't say it like that, but the gist of it was, get away from me. Don't touch me with that. But yeah, man, I can appreciate their growth. And because it takes a lot of opening up on both sides for them to actually get to this point and listening to each other and listening to what the experts tell them gets them to this point. So you can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Stuff. So
I don't have anything else for them. The episode ended there. And that's just kind of where we are.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of a question outside of... The only thing that comes to mind is, did you guys see this happening on this episode?
What?
Like them consummating the marriage at this point.
That's a terrible question, but yes.
I know, that's the only thing that I can think of. That's why I didn't say, I got a question. Do you have a question?
Absolutely not.
Just comment.
My thing is, okay, my question is, how effective was Dr. Pepper's conversation with these couples? With the vulnerability aspect of things? Because I feel like everybody, like, you have to be vulnerable. You have to, talk about things that you really don't want to talk about. But is that the most important thing for everybody on this episode right now at this moment? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't think it's a good one?
I was trying to make it more concise of a question. Just tell us what y'all think about this episode. We lost 4 questions at this point.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No, that's it for me. Join us tomorrow morning.
That wasn't it for you then. Go ahead.
You got it. Go ahead. Join us tomorrow morning for our coffee break at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time zone. What else we got? Sunday with Jack and Glenn.
We missed this past Sunday.
Yeah.
Also, Tommy uploaded and edited his birthday vlog. That's the most recent video on the channel outside of this one. So go check that out.
And we did record a podcast episode, so the podcast is coming soon. What else?
I didn't want you to mention that yet, but okay.
Well, I mean, like, hey, man, it's there. Gotta be edited, but it's there.
All right, so.
She's so funny, man.
Anywho.
Love you.
Nothing else?
Nah.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.